What the fuck do you want me to do?
Hello, it's Eddie Gregory with WNR, Wasteland News Radio. Today is September 5th. Today a strange new growth has appeared on my arm. I am quite sure it is a third ear. Looking first in North America. The Mexican military has been raising upside-down flags all over the country. Nobody really knows what's going on and what it means. Military convoys are also being reported moving through several major cities, and civilian traffic is being blocked outside major airports. Recently, Mexico's president met with Donald Trump and there's been massive controversy over it since. A few disgruntled generals may be behind this. It could just be a warning to the president or maybe something more. We can only speculate that this could mean anything, from a pending coup, to a failure of state. Casting the gaze north, the Donald Trump presidential campaign has announced that it will pull out of the September 26th scheduled debate between Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton and Republican nominee Trump, unless third-party candidates Gary Johnson and Gil Stein are also allowed to participate. This is a large step in equality, as it allows for all parties to attend the debate regardless of the chances of winning. They can still spread their word. The requirement that presidential candidates average at least 15% support in national polls in order to participate in the election debate stage is probably too high, Bernie Sanders said Sunday morning. The Commission on Presidential Debates announced its 15% threshold last year, and last month it announced the set of 5 national polls it would use to measure each candidate's support. The barrier is no problem for Democrat Hillary Clinton and Republican Donald Trump, but it presents a potentially insurmountable hurdle for third-party presidential candidates like Libertarian Gary Johnson and the Green Party's Jill Stein. The Washington Post says that Trump already laid the groundwork for declining the debates. He recently tweeted that the dates are all wrong and suggested that Clinton's campaign somehow rigged the dates. More in news on the female candidate. Hillary Clinton is under questioning by federal investigators over whether she had been briefed on how to preserve government records as she was about to leave the State Department. She said she had suffered a concussion, was working part-time and could not recall every briefing she received. Clinton, the Democratic Party's presidential candidate, raised the health scare during her 3.5-hour interview with the Federal Bureau of Investigation and Justice Department prosecutors on July 2, according to an FBI summary released on Friday. Besides the 11-page interview summary, the FBI also released other details of its investigation into her use of an unauthorized private email system while running the State Department, in which it concluded she mishandled classified information, but not in a way that warranted a criminal prosecution. Clinton told investigators she could not recall getting any briefings on how to handle classified information or comply with laws governing the preservation of federal records, the summary of her interview shows. However, in December of 2012, Clinton suffered a concussion and then around the new year had a blood clot, the FBI's summary said. Based on her doctor's advice, she could only work at State for a few hours a day and could not recall every briefing she received. A Clinton campaign aide said Clinton only referenced her concussion to explain she was not at work but for a few hours a day at that time. Not that she did not remember things from that period. The concussion was widely reported then, and Republicans have since used it to attack the 68-year-old candidate's health in a way her staff have said is unfounded. The FBI report, which does not quote Clinton directly, is ambiguous about whether it was her concussion that affected her ability to recall briefings. The FBI declined to provide further comment on the report. In essence, she tells the FBI she could not remember email briefings due to a brain injury. Now it comes out that there were top-secret emails sent and received. Around 2,000 email threads. Then the FBI lets her off the hook. Something is very wrong with the current administration. On to world news. Our friends in the Middle East have developments. The Syrian update as of September 4th. In the area of Damascus, rebels launched a huge offensive against the Assad regime in eastern Ghouta, and are advancing. In the area of Manbij, the Turkish army deployed 11 kilometers away. Looking to the Hama area, Syrian rebels shoot down a regime helicopter in the Hama offensive. In the area of Aleppo, Syrian troops re-establish the Aleppo siege. SAR and NDF regain all of the Ramaus military colleges. Meanwhile, the Turkish army enters the Al-Rai border town with 15 tanks and prep for an op against ISIS militants. On the political end, Obama says we reached an agreement with Turkey over Syria, especially to solve the humanitarian crisis. US says no Syria deal yet after Russia walked back the agreements. Assad and Erdogan said to be preparing for face-to-face meeting in Russia, although unconfirmed. Eddie Gregory signing off for WNR. Stay safe, stay alert, and stay armed.